All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be looking at a compilation of left-wing media outlets and personalities defending Joe Biden on this classified documents debacle and investigation that's about to go forward. Now, as a conservative, you already know that if there's an R in front of your name, they'll treat you differently versus if there's a D in front of your name. And we've been able to see that with the comparison of the two presidencies thus far, Trump versus Biden. Now, with that being said, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe while you're watching with me. Now, let's roll it.
Well, we all know that Trump is a liar and a thief. We know that. So it's not that big a jump to say that he obstructed and he lied. We don't think that Biden is a liar and a thief, so we give him the benefit of the doubt. That's partly what's going on.
I'm going to try to hold my comments.
Talking about 10 documents that were found. There were briefing materials that were prepared for Biden when he was vice president, and they cover a range of topics, including Iran, the Ukraine, and the United Kingdom.
They are going at this. You're already hearing them equate it to what happened with former President Trump, even though it is very an apples to oranges situation, even at a casual glance.
Now, I wouldn't exactly classify this as apples to oranges. I mean, they both essentially did the same thing. They're both under scrutiny for the same thing. There are some distinctions, but it's not apples to oranges. No.
At this point. However, when you're talking about a House majority that is launching all sorts of investigations into the Biden administration, you have to imagine this is going to be very much top of mind.
There's nothing to indicate, based on what we know so far, that President Biden either took these documents willfully or retained them willfully.
The way that this was done, I think, is quite different. It looks like former President Trump, I think it's pretty clear by now, intentionally took these documents, intentionally kept them away from the government. It doesn't appear that that is the case with President Biden when he was out of office. But still, as you said earlier, it looks bad. It was probably improper. It was probably done in contravention of the law, and there will be some accountability.
It's ludicrous to say a vice president can't have access to classified material, or we have access to classified materials as members of Congress. The issue with Donald Trump wasn't that he had it in his possession, it's that he wasn't cooperating with the archives to return it. But again, this is the problem, is nuance doesn't really matter. Thankfully, on the justice side, it does.
Who would like to thank?
Any comment on the document, sir?
When my lawyers were clearing out my office at the University of Pennsylvania, they set up an office for me, secure office in the Capitol. The 4 years after being vice president, I was a professor at Penn. They found some documents in a box in a locked cabinet, or at least a closet. And as soon as they did, they realized there were several classified documents in that box. And they did what they should have done. They immediately called the archives, turned them over to the archives, and I was briefed about this discovery and surprised to learn that there were any government records that were taken there to that office. We're
Sure you were, Biden, sure.
cooperating fully with the review, and which I hope will be finished soon, and there'll be more detail at that time.
When you saw the photograph of the top secret documents laid out on the floor at Mar-a-Lago, what did you think to yourself, looking at that image?
How that could possibly happen, how anyone could be that irresponsible. And I thought, what data was in there that may compromise sources and methods? By that I mean names of people who helped, or et cetera. And it's just totally irresponsible.
So when Trump does it, it's totally irresponsible. But when I do it, when me, Joe Biden, when I do it, I don't even know how they got there. Now, let's talk about this. Now, I know the people that write your checks over there at CNN, over there at The View, whatever left-leaning media outlet you work at, I know they don't want you to just be objective and speak the truth and, call things how you see it for each person equally. But that's what you need to do to have credibility to the people. Now that this is happening to Biden, they're trying to frame this as if, oh, it wasn't a problem when Trump did it. It was only a problem because he didn't want to give them back. But when they covered it, it was a problem when he did it because it tied into the whole Russian collusion narrative that he was, working with Russia, that he worked with Russia to win the 2016 election. And even after $4 million, millions of dollars spent, years of investigating, they found nothing. And people still believe this. And another thing, we know that Hillary Clinton had classified documents in her emails, which are on our computer. And a computer isn't exactly a safe place to have things because they could be hacked. They can be obtained by other people, by foreigners, and all type of things. So to sit up here and pretend that it's just all about the safety of the documents, and that's really, that's what's so important in upholding democracy, it's all crap. And it's also interesting that they found these documents on November 2nd. That's before the midterm elections. And we only hearing about this just now. When I go online and I read the discourse between the left and the right on this issue, it shows me an amazing dichotomy. People on the left have believed every single media hit piece on Trump. Therefore, whenever the media says anything about him that's negative, they automatically believe it. But as a Trump supporter or as someone who's a conservative and just doesn't like, lies being presented as the truth, it's difficult to get to a common ground with someone who sees a man as an enemy and you see him as either a hero or just a man. It's some conservatives that don't see Trump as a superhero, or as the greatest guy in the world. They just don't cancel him. They give him a little bit of benefit of the doubt. And if you do research into these issues, outside of a leftist echo chamber, you'll know that a lot of the things that they've said about Trump have just been complete lies. Like I mentioned the Steele dossier earlier and just the whole Russian collusion thing. So how do you get to a middle ground when there's two people that believe two entirely different stories? And this is all the media's fault. They could have covered Trump fairly when he was the president, but the moment he got into office, he became the most hated man in the world, firing and charging up all of the leftist supporters for the next 4 years to hate his guts. And this is why nobody has trust in the media. This is why their ratings dropped after Trump left, because they had nothing else to talk about. And even after he left, they still managed to find a way to keep his name in their mouth. But when inflation is going on and border crises and all type of other things, people don't care about Trump no more. Even people on the left were probably tired of hearing about him every day. After he's gone, he's not even a president no more, but people still speak about him as if he is. Clearly, Trump was living rent-free in every one of their heads. Yeah, so to close this video out, you guys, I think this video blatantly displays the hypocrisy that left-leaning media outlets show, and they'll continue to lose credibility so long as they try to paint all Republicans and conservatives as racist insurrectionists, and as long as they keep covering and simping for Democrats. You do a disservice to everyone watching when you include your bias in your journalism. And let me make a clear distinction. What I do is reaction videos. I don't claim to have all the facts. I'm a reaction channel. They are journalists. They're on the news. So they have to have their facts and information together, because people are going to run with those stories that they see on the news and start arguing with people online, or, bringing up things at the dinner table or making posts. So that's it for the video, you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe when you're at the door. Till next time, you guys, I'm out of here. Peace.